They say the truth can set you free, but in my case, it shattered everything I thought I knew. This is the story of how I dated my half-brother without knowing, and how that led me to discover who my real father was. I kissed him thinking he was the love of my life. But a simple DNA test shattered everything. I wasn't just in love. I was in love with my half-brother. And the man I called Dad my whole life, he wasn't even my father. Growing up, it was just me and my mom. Her name is Janet, and she was my rock. She worked as a nurse, pulling long shifts and still finding time to make dinner, help with school projects, and listen to my endless childhood stories. We weren't wealthy by any means, but I never felt like I lacked anything. We lived in a small 2-bedroom apartment in a sleepy part of town, surrounded by neighbors who kept to themselves. I never knew my father. Whenever I asked, Mom would say, he wasn't ready to be a father. But that's okay. You've got me. I accepted that. I didn't know any different, and she filled both parental roles better than most couples I saw. Holidays were just the two of us, and I cherished our little traditions. We'd decorate the tree with hot cocoa in hand, go for midnight walks on New Year's Eve, and spend Sunday mornings watching cartoons no matter how old I got. Mom always made me feel like I was enough, like I was her whole world. And I guess that's why I never questioned the things she didn't say. My friends had dads who coached soccer games or grilled burgers on weekends. I never had that, but I told myself I didn't miss it. I even defended my mom fiercely when others pried. She was my hero. My best friend. The only family I thought I needed. Everything about my world was predictable, safe, and structured. I thought I understood who I was, where I came from, and where I was going. I thought I knew what love looked like. And then I met Ryan. Ryan was the kind of guy who walked into a room and everyone noticed. Not because he was loud or flashy, but because he carried himself with quiet confidence. We met at a mutual friend's game night. He had this easy laugh, warm brown eyes, and a way of making you feel like you were the only person in the room. I was drawn to him immediately. We started talking, first about board games, then about books, then about life. It was one of those conversations that stretches into hours without either of you noticing. By the end of the night, I had butterflies. He asked for my number, and I gave it to him without hesitation. Our first date was simple, coffee and a walk in the park. But it felt like something out of a movie. We clicked in ways I didn't know were possible. We had similar childhood stories, similar senses of humor, even a shared love for obscure 90s cartoons. I remember joking once, it's like we're the same person. He laughed, and I laughed, and neither of us thought anything of it. As weeks turned into months, we grew closer. He met my mom. She liked him, though she seemed distant, almost cautious. I brushed it off. Maybe she was just protective. Then came my birthday. Ryan gave me the most unexpected gift, a DNA test kit. He had taken one himself a few months back and found distant relatives he never knew existed. He thought it would be fun for us to compare results. I hesitated, but he insisted. What if we find out we're long-lost royalty, he teased. I laughed and agreed. The test took a few weeks to come back. During that time, we continued to grow closer. I began to imagine a future with him. I pictured holidays together, a shared apartment, maybe even kids one day. He felt like home. When the results finally arrived, I opened them with excitement. But that excitement lasted all of 10 seconds. Right there on the screen, under genetic matches, was Ryan's name. And next to it, predicted relationship, half-sibling. The air left my lungs like I'd been punched. I reread the screen, certain it was a mistake. There had to be an error. Some kind of glitch. But no matter how many times I refreshed the page or double-checked the kit number, it was right there in black and white. Ryan. Half-sibling. I stared at my reflection in the laptop screen. My hands trembled. I felt dizzy, like the floor had been ripped out from under me. Every memory we had flashed before my eyes, our first kiss, our inside jokes, the way I felt so safe with him. And now? He wasn't my soulmate. He was my brother. I called my mom. My voice shook as I asked her about Marcus, a name I had seen mentioned in Ryan's family tree. There was silence. Then she whispered, "Where did you hear that name? Is he my father?" Her voice cracked. I didn't know how to tell you. I was young. It was a one-time thing. I didn't think he even remembered me. I never imagined you'd find him. But I had. Not only had I found him, I had fallen in love with his other child. I met with Ryan that evening. I printed the results, hands shaking the whole time. He opened the envelope, smiled at first, until he saw the words. He looked at me. No words. Just disbelief. "Is this real?" he asked. I nodded. I couldn't speak. Tears welled in both our eyes. I saw his lips tremble as he said, "You're my sister?" "Half-sister," I whispered, as if that made it less terrible. He laughed once. A sharp, broken laugh that turned into a sob. All this time, we had no idea. We sat there, crying. Numb. Unable to comprehend what had been taken from us, what we had unknowingly walked into. We agreed to end it. No more dates. No more future. But cutting someone out of your life doesn't cut out your feelings. I missed him with every breath. I reached out to Marcus. I wasn't sure what I expected. An apology? An explanation? What I got was a letter. He told me he remembered my mom. That he always wondered if she had gotten pregnant, but he never tried to find out. He had built a life. A wife. Kids. And secrets. He said he was sorry. That if he had known, things might have been different. But it was too late for that. Ryan and I didn't speak for months. Then, one night, he messaged me, "I still think about you." I don't know how not to. Neither did I. There's a strange grief that comes from losing something you never should have had. Ryan and I were like a flame that burned too hot, too fast, and then extinguished in a gust of reality. I went to therapy. I journaled. I cried more than I thought a human could. Slowly, I began to accept that this was part of my story. A painful, complicated, gut-wrenching part. But mine. I stopped asking, "Why me?" and started asking, "What now?" Today, I'm learning to trust again. I'm rebuilding my relationship with my mom, slowly, cautiously. She's apologized more times than I can count. I'm not sure I'll ever fully forgive her, but I'm trying. Ryan and I don't speak anymore. It's better that way. Safer. But sometimes, I see someone in a crowd who looks like him, and my heart stops. I'm dating again. Carefully. Honestly. I tell people about my past when the time feels right. It scares them. But it also shows me who's worth keeping. I learned that love can be real and still be wrong. That secrets, no matter how deeply buried, find their way to the surface. And that knowing the truth, no matter how painful, is always better than living a lie. Have you ever uncovered a family secret that changed everything? Share your story in the comments. Someone out there might need to hear it. If this story moved you or made you reflect on your own life, give it a like, subscribe for more true stories, and don't forget to turn on notifications. You never know what story might resonate next. And if you're comfortable, tell us in the comments, what's the biggest truth you've ever uncovered?